Hello. Welcome to Bountiful Hope. I'm Amy Huffman, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today, I want to open up about something deeply personal, a journey through pain, surrender, and healing, a journey through open heart surgery. Now, even if your struggle looks different, I hope this story meets you right now, right where you are, because pain may take different forms, but hope is for all of us. Last summer, I dreaded walking up any kind of hill. My body felt weak, I became winded, and my heart felt so heavy. And honestly, I was pretty scared. I remember thinking, am I dying? And I didn't want to admit it, but I knew something was very, very wrong. Eventually, I realized I had multiple issues happening, and I started searching for answers. And I found a fascinating treatment called EECP, or Enhanced External Counterpulsation. It's a gentle therapy that helps increase blood flow to your heart without surgery. So I committed to 7 weeks, 5 days a week, and it wasn't always easy, but I was really, really hopeful. After the treatment ended in September, I started walking on flat beaches, miles at a time. I was down in Florida for care for some other things, and I felt like my strength was returning. But then December came. The heaviness in my heart returned, and my energy just drained from me, and I began to feel that familiar weight in my chest again. Then in January, I was walking across a flat parking lot, nothing strenuous at all, and suddenly I was breathless. I felt faint. My heart felt strange. My body was weak, and I knew I couldn't wait anymore. So I reached out to my cardiologist, and he took me seriously because back in 2012, when I was just 42, I'd already had my first heart stent. And at that point, I had stress tests and an echocardiogram that said everything was great. But when they went in and did a heart cath, because I continued to experience symptoms, it wasn't great. And then the same thing happened in 2022, where I felt like I was struggling, and they went in and both sides of that first stent were blocked, and they had to put in new heart stents. The cardiologist ordered a stat heart catheterization, and they got me in pretty much immediately. The results? 2 arteries. The original artery I struggled with was the widowmaker, which is the left anterior descending artery, which is the worst one, And now that had 3 stents in it. It had a blockage and they couldn't use another stent. And now I had a blockage in a second artery. And this was so devastating to me because I've done so much to try to take really good care of myself, but I do have heart disease in my family. And needless to say, I was so grateful that the cardiologist took it so seriously. So with this 80% blockage in 2 arteries, I needed open heart surgery. It just wasn't optional. My heart was unstable, and I actually had to wait in the hospital until they could operate. That time in the hospital, it was one of the hardest things I've ever walked through. Before the surgery, just the not knowing how would the surgery go, how would I feel after having your chest cut open and the things that happen with an open heart surgery. Just that thought was pretty scary. And probably the hardest thing was that my family was afraid of losing me. And being honest, I didn't know exactly what the outcome would be. After surgery, the sigh of relief that all went well was there, but then you're in the middle of the pain from the surgery. The incision, the drains actually hurt worse than the surgery, I think, at that moment. And it was excruciating to move. It was so overwhelming. And in addition to that, I'm allergic to most all pain medications. So it was very difficult to find a pain medication that I could even use, and it was very slow to ease the pain. So went through some pretty rough times there. Every movement just felt impossible. And even lifting my arms, think to shower or wash your hair or anything, just made me feel like I was going to pass out. I was just exhausted. I was weak, and I was pretty emotional about that. So I remember thinking, I'm too young for this, right? Being younger means you can heal quicker, but it just brought a sadness in what the reality of that situation was. And There's something doctors don't always prepare you for. There's an emotional fog that comes after open heart surgery. I call it a gloomy feeling. And I didn't realize that approximately 50% of all open heart surgery patients experience depressive symptoms. And that was so weird for me because I've always been such a positive person. But in those days, something just felt off, like a cloud that I couldn't shake. And I just was at a time that it wasn't what I expected my life to look like. But through it all, there was something steady. Just that quiet voice reminding me that I'm not alone. And I just needed to keep going because there's more ahead. That's the voice I believe is always there, even when we can't see clearly. In Psalms 23:4, it says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." That gave me so much comfort. So when I was too weak to move, when I couldn't lift my arms without pain, when my mind felt foggy and my spirit felt dim, I trusted that the Lord was still holding me. Not because I had all the right words, not because I felt strong at all in my faith at that moment. I just had to choose to believe that hope was still possible. Psalm 73:26, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." If you're going through something that hurts physically, emotionally, or spiritually, please hear this. You are not weak for struggling. You're not broken beyond repair, and you are not alone. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. And I don't share my story because I've arrived. I praise the Lord that I'm doing much better. I'm 10 weeks out right now, and I still feel that I've had surgery, but I'm feeling so much better, and that gloom has lifted, praise the Lord. So I share this story because I'm still healing, and I'm still learning, and I'm still breathing in the Lord's grace one day at a time. And I want you to know healing may not be fast, it may not be easy, but there is hope. There is a purpose, and there's strength for you in every moment. So thank you for letting me share my heart. Thank you for being with me today and sharing my heart literally and figuratively. On a fun note, I love to share this. My grandson had heart surgery when he was about 5 months old, and he lovingly calls his scar a shark bite. So now we joke about grandma having a bigger shark bite. So that's kind of fun. If this story encouraged you, I'd be honored if you'd share it with somebody who needs it. And if you ever want to share your own story of healing or faith, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. You are deeply loved. No matter how broken things feel, there is always bountiful hope.